Hello, welcome to another rundown of my Blender file that I'm going to give to Papi patrons. So this time it's Marcille. I'm just gonna explain how to use this Blender file, I guess. So we got some collections here. This is my usual, the usual way I organize my Blender files. We got a geometry collection, which is the pure geometry, then the rig, which houses the rig of the character, and a collection called controllers, which stores just this thing and its little like gizmo model that you can completely ignore. So inside geometry is where most is. And this is the main body of the character here, Marcille body, and has like a lot of things. Has a bunch of shape keys, and it has like a lot of meshes inside as well. And you got some things in the head. So instead of everything being one object, I have some parts that are outside that are parented to something else, and that something else is at the same time parented to the rig. So it's a little complicated, but like it works. So we got an object here, an empty object called head parent, and if you move this, you're going to see that a lot of other models move with it. And everything inside this collection, head, is parented to that head parent model or empty model, empty object. So you got the hair of the character, which is rigged, and you also got a smaller rig for the eyes, which is this thing. You enter here and you move this one bone. Then the teeth. Well, this was a rig, but I deleted that rig, so I just needed to join this with the rest of the model. I forgot, so I'm just gonna do it right now. Okay. So just let me check if everything went correct. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, so yeah, inside of this head collection, I guess you can have the rig for the eyes themselves, and the hair. Probably nothing else. Then in the clothes, you have every clothing item separated in its own collection. So you can easily toggle different things like the hood, the belt, the sandals. And then you also got this part of the tunic, the upper part of the tunic, the pants, and then choker. In the accessories, there's the book, this book. You can toggle. You also got the backpack, which I didn't really complete it. I don't know if I'm going to use this for the desktop pet, but I made like a mock-up or something like that, very quick. I'm just gonna leave it here for you in case you want it. And the staff, which is already parented to her right hand. So there's the staff. Now, the clothing items are fairly low poly, and they don't have the best deformations because I am going to simulate this in Unity. So it wasn't really necessary for me to get the cleanest of deformations, right? So it's a little wonky. It's really not perfect. And I have disabled a property of the modifier that links the models to the rig. I have disabled this property, preserve volume, and what that does is that, among other things, it helps some parts of the mesh to not do this, where they become like infinitely small. So I have disabled that because I want to see the deformations in the same way they are going to look in Unity. But you can also enable that if you plan on animating here in Blender or whatever. So if you re-enable this preserve volume on every model, every mesh, then the deformations are going to be a little better. So I'm just gonna disable that again. And what else? So yeah, next part is this controller object. I'm gonna move it a little to the side, and exactly as it did on my previous Blender file for Ramona flowers, this little armature controls some shape keys, which are the ones that are colored in purple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you directly. So I'm gonna pin this here so you can see the shape key values, and then when I grab one of these bones, I top right closed and I move it to the side, her right top eyelid closes, and you can see that value being modified here. And these bones also have a constraint setup so that you cannot move it further beyond its intended range. So instead of setting the values for the shape keys manually, you can do that with bones. That allows you to animate it much easier. So, well, here you got a bunch of expressions that you can do. So you have to mix and match all of these shape keys. So, for instance, if you want to make my favorite Marcille face, which is the one where she's screaming scared, there's this one shape key, mouth open. No, it's this one, horrified, mouth open, horrified. No, it's not, it's this one, scared. Okay. So this one goes to the max value, and then I enlarge her eyes a little using this shape key, eyes big. Then I move her eyebrows using eyebrows raised a little. And well, maybe I can play a little with the ears here, ears down, do something like that. And I'm gonna exit from pose mode here, and I'm going to enter pose mode for the eye rig. And I think for this face, her eyes are a little set apart, so I'm gonna move this bone closer to her face. That makes the eyes separate a little. Or was it closer? I think, no, it was closer, maybe. So I think this looks better for that face. And you can also change the size of her pupils or irises. So you select any of the eyes, because both of them are the same model, and then you modify a shape key of the eyes. Maybe like I could do it here, but it's a shape key here. There's a couple shape keys. Small overdrive makes the pupils. What do you pronounce it? Pupils. Irises makes the irises of the eyes smaller. And maybe I can set up a bone for that here real quick. That way, I guess you learn something. So selecting this, armature, I enter edit mode, then I'm gonna, so to have some order, these are the eyes, so I'm gonna use this section here for the eyes. I'm gonna duplicate a bone, move it to this exact position, and I'm gonna exit here. I want to grab the name for this, which is small overdrive, that's how I call it. Or maybe I can change. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change the name of this bone, not to the name of the shape key, but to a better name. It doesn't need to be the same name. I'm gonna call this, what's that, a pupil size, small, I guess. And while having this bone selected, its Y position, that's what I'm going to use to drive this shape key. So what was it? Control-Shift-C, copy. Control-Shift-C, this is the one. Copy as new driver. And then I go to the shape key itself. Small overdrive. Here in the value, right click. And that's paste driver. That's it. Okay, so it's a little convoluted, but it works pretty easily. Okay, so I'm gonna give you this blend file with this change. But yeah, in order to make that funny face, and I would make her pupils smaller, and that's kinda it. So there's not one switch that changes faces, right? You have to build them yourself. But the upside of doing that is that then you can make more faces than the ones that I am giving you. So you can mix a lot of the shape keys and make new faces or something like that. And I'm going to return all of these more or less to what it was. Then I am including just a couple poses here for the rig of the body. So there's one idle where she's just standing, not quite a T-pose, but a more natural idle pose. I got this horrified one for the horrified expression, which I would build or make this one. Oh, something happened. Uh-oh. That's not intended. What? Oh, right, I forgot to do something. Yeah, so I made a change here real quick, and I forgot to actually give proper weights to the mouth parts. I'm just gonna do it real quick. It's really a breeze, is something pretty straightforward. I just have to link the teeth and the tongue to the head bone, which is head X. Where are you? Here we are. So while this is selected, assign to a weight of 1. Okay, so now can go back here. There we go. Alright, so we also like, I guess something like that. There's also another category of shape keys. Here we got some colors for the face, but these are made so that they work better when they are completely 0 or completely 1. So here these are all 0, and here's 1 completely. If you move it slowly, like it's not doesn't look good. Right, so well, that's this pose, the horrified pose, and then there's this one. Looks really funny with an expression like that. So let me just real quick. So this is one of the poses that she has that come up when you Google Marcille. Like, this is one of her original poses, so I made it, and this one works with the staff. I guess the last thing that I could talk about is the hair rig, which is more or less complex, right? It's not like a few bones, it's a lot of bones. So it's all symmetric, so if you move one side, the other side also moves. So the naming is correct. And I don't know, so you can animate this. I would recommend that if you want to animate the hair, you do it with an add-on. I use one called Swingy Bone. This adds physics simulations to bones. So animating this by hand is possible, but it's a lot of work. So yeah, everything is rigged here, even the braids. This part of the head, like this braid, isn't rigged because it never moves, but the ones here, these are rigged. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I don't know if it was really necessary for me to make this video, but just in case you want like a video manual of how to use this. Yeah, I'm forgetting something else. So there are a couple shape keys that do not have bones linked to them because these are not meant to be animated. These are just to have the body work with the clothes. So I hope it's okay for you to show. So if you disable the clothes, you're gonna see a couple things here. I'm gonna disable the accessories as well. So one, she has no bobs, right? And she has like a bodysuit here. So the bodysuit is because I cannot show too much skin on YouTube. So if you want to disable that bodysuit, what you have to do is, well, you have the body selected here in the materials tab. There's a bunch of materials. This bodysuit material, you have to change it. So I'm gonna do it without showing that much skin. The bodysuit material, you change it to skin. And that's the character without any clothes. And the box. So there's something there's like a technique where you make clothes for a character that has a full body underneath. Sometimes parts of the body are going to want to clip out of the clothes. And that's the case for the bobs. I'm saying bobs because I'm trying to not get age restricted. But you got here a couple shape keys for that. So one is called Bob's Gone. When you set that back to 0, the bobs come out, and the tips of the bobs here, nips gone. You also need to disable the shape key. So that's only to help the clothing look correct. And there's also another thing that I made her. I had to make her really narrow, like her hips very narrow, in order for her to fit in her clothes. So that's what this shape key does, slim. If you want her to be clothed, you have to enable this one, otherwise her hips are going to poke through. And lastly, there's one called anatomy that I just left it here instead of fusing it to the base model, if that makes sense. Just because it's just some anatomy details. Maybe like you want to look at this closer. So if you move this, you get like more details. So yeah, I'm just gonna re-enable the clothes again. And yeah, okay, so that's it now. Hopefully this video is not incredibly boring, although I would find it boring, but this is more like a guide for my patrons. Alright, that's it. Marcille out.